Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Raw reaction. We are reacting to Day 2, Night 2, Part 2 of the WWE Draft for 2021. Last time, a lot of people just stayed in the same place, to be honest. It wasn't a massive, mind-blowing experience. Roman Reigns stayed on SmackDown, Big E stayed on Raw. Probably the biggest draft pick was Charlotte going over to SmackDown and taking the women's title with her, meaning probably Becky's probably going to go to Raw, because Charlotte's on SmackDown with the Raw title, I'm assuming, but we will see in a minute. And then Bianca Belair, Drew, there's a couple of big swaps, but majority of the people stayed in the same place that they were before the draft, so I'm hoping we're going to have a bit more of a shake-up tonight. 4 parts here on the Raw version of the draft, the Night 2. You guys in the Discord have given me the link so I can avoid spoilers and we can watch it together. I'm watching all this from WWE's YouTube channel, but they like to put the spoilers in the title and the thumbnail. So we're going to just watch the draft part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And yeah, you guys have given me the link so I can avoid the spoilers. If you want to watch along with me, links in the description, so you just open up in a new tab. As this is just a draft, I don't think you really need to do that, because it's just going to be like, this person has gone to this brand, this person has gone to this brand, and me talking about it, so you don't really need to see it. But if you want to see it, links in the description, so you're more than welcome to do that. Without further ado, let's jump into it. I've been rambling for a bit, and we've got 4 videos to get through. So, part 1 of Day 2, so part 1, Day 2 of the draft. Let's go. Who's going to be the first draft of Pot 2? Alright, let's go. They were scraping the bottom of the barrel of draft pick 3s last on SmackDown already, so. But they got 2 pots, so it's like 2 different groups of wrestlers. Alright. Oh, there we go. That's what I thought. So we got 2 titles. So the women's titles are swapped. There's usually a title swap. Usually per draft. Alright, where they go? Ooh. That's a good call. That's good. Could you imagine if the Usos went to Raw? That's good. So again, people stay put. Poor Heyman looks like he's gonna have a heart attack. Okay, well that makes sense. Alright. But then he's kind of done everything on Raw. He might have been nice to put him on SmackDown, but then Drew's gone to SmackDown. I don't know. Oh, that's a good call. That looks good. What do you mean the women's division is still intact? They've swapped the women's champions. What do you mean intact? That don't make any sense what you just said. Yeah. And that's night number 1. Picks number 1. Becky Lynch, yeah. Alright, well. Okay, well the biggest, so I'm assuming that's the biggest draft pick, so that's not, Bobby Lashley staying on Raw, kind of boring, a little bit. So, they just swapped the champions on Raw and SmackDown women's divisions, and then just kept the rosters the same. So, that's hilarious. Okay, but yeah, that's the thing with the draft. WWE drafts, they always swap a title. 9 times out of 10 they'll swap a title, so either the tag titles will swap, the mid-card titles will swap, the women's title will swap, or the WWE/Universal titles will swap. I'm assuming they were happy with Roman being on SmackDown, so they didn't want to swap the big titles. They didn't want to swap the tag titles because of the Usos were tag champs. And they could have still swapped the mid-card belts to US and the Intercontinental, but we're quite happy with what they've done now. Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going to swap belts. Just, yeah, interesting stuff. Yeah, so that's the first set of draft picks. We've got another 3 to go. But obviously that's probably the most interesting one, I would imagine. Let's jump into part 2 of the draft. Yeah, part 2, you guys ready? 3, 2, 1, play. Oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of Clay Travis, whoever that is. Fox Sports, yikes. Alright. You're on the wrong show, you should be on SmackDown. That's on Fox, this is not Fox. Alright. There we go. Who's it going to be? Alright, that's fair. Again, a lot of people just stay put, which is like, what's the even point of having a draft if you're going to put... They like doing drafts. I used to like it when they used to do the lottery one, and you could literally have 5 people from each side. That's what they should have just done. It's just gone, here's 5 people on one side, 5 people on the other, and they'll swap. Because literally, they say if they have 5... Because this is basically what they're doing. Oh. No, that's not bad. Hey, we finally had a swap over. It shows how like lacking in depth these rosters are lately. They had so many talented people on the roster, and they just kept letting people go. It's ridiculous. Oh, right. Okay. Back to Raw. He flip-flops a lot between brands. Kevin Owens is a good one. I like Kevin Owens.
And with the final pick of the 3rd round of the WWE Draft, Friday Night SmackDown selects the unrelenting and ruthless combat style of one of NXT's fiercest competitors,
Ooh.
Xia Li.
Oh. Another call-up. Alright.
In the women's division on Friday Night SmackDown, you better be on high alert because Xia Li is going to
okay.
some waves on SmackDown.
I agree with you, Saxton. Xia Li may be the diamond in the rough of this year's draft.
Interesting. Another call-up.
Recap round 3 of the draft.
Interesting. We had a couple of swaps, which is interesting. But yeah, I think they could have just done it like they used to do the lottery version. Have 5 people on one side and 5 people on like I'm gonna, you know, you could pick 5 people for one show, and then the other team. You could pick 5 people from each side to swap, because at the moment it's just like this person staying put, this person staying put, this person staying put, this person's moving. Yay! This person's staying put. This person's staying put. It's like 1 out of every 5 is like changing. It feels like it doesn't feel like that many of swap overs. And they've had a couple of call ups, which is nice. Hit Row and Xia Li, both good call ups, I think. Especially because they've ruined NXT anyway. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the new NXT. I'm not going to even. I'm trying to be positive when it comes to wrestling a lot of the time, but I'm not even going to cover it up. I do not like the new NXT. I made a whole video about it before, how NXT, the original NXT, or the last version of NXT, because it wasn't the original, but the NXT with all the, when it was at its peak with Gargano Ciampa and Nakamura as champion and Kevin Owens as champion and Balor as champion and all that was my favourite my favorite wrestling promotion probably of all time was that little section, those 2-3 years, and they've ruined it and they've killed it. And it was the coolest thing WWE had, and they've completely ruined it. So, sorry, I got off a tangent a little bit, but I don't actually mind about these call-ups now, because before I would care if people got called up, but now I'm like, well, the new NXT is rubbish anyway, so we might as well come up. It's not like you're leaving a good show like you used to do. Anyway, let's jump into part 3 of the draft. Part 3 of day 2. I think all the best ones have already gone, so it shows how lacking depth the WWE roster is lately, which is kind of scary. They have all these they had so many talented people, they just let them all go. Let's just go into part 3 anyway. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, play.
Welcome back to the final night of the 2021 WWE Draft.
Uh-huh.
As a reminder, these draft rosters going to affect on October 22nd, the day after the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And with that,
Interesting, okay.
with the first pick of the 5th round, in
Alright, it's not, usually it happens straight away.
Monday Night Raw selects a harbinger of destruction, Karrion Kross.
Ooh, okay. Alright. Well, they haven't really done anything with Karrion Kross. They should have put him on SmackDown. Give him a fresh coat of paint and start again.
Staying here on the red ring.
And with the second pick of the 5th round of the WWE Draft, Friday Night SmackDown selects the charming, charismatic team of Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza.
Okay.
Okay, Corey, should I get you some Kleenex now?
Alright. That's a random one, but we'll go with that.
That you talk about, the tag
Garza and Carrillo.
of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
I haven't seen them in months.
Okay with this.
Or if I just... Oh, I just blacked out.
Monday Night Raw selects the maniacal and twisted 5 feet of fury, Alexa.
Oh, I like the next of this. Alright. So she's just staying on Raw, okay.
It's been a week, Saxton.
Alright. So she's staying on Raw, so she's going to be in the Becky's. So basically, the women's division's not really changed much, apart from the titles. The champions have changed, but that's about it.
And with the final pick of the 5th round of the WWE Draft,
The dog's down there, she's distracting me.
selects the Swiss Cyborg.
Whee!
Bolster your roster. I challenge you to find anyone better.
Yep, same put again.
The Swiss Superman, Cesaro. remains
Cesaro!
Monday Night SmackDown. 2021 has been good thus far for Cesaro. I think next year might be the year.
Alright.
Here is the recap
Cesaro back on top.
for the WWE Draft. Karrion Kross remaining on Monday Night Raw, as will Alexa Bliss. The new team of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo will now join the SmackDown Tag Team division. And the Swiss Cyborg himself, Cesaro,
Alright.
remains on Friday nights.
Good luck pronouncing Carrillo, McAfee.
And now we're on the final part. The final part of the draft. Let's go. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Listen, it's been an honor for Sunday night to preside over this year's 2-night spectacular, and it's time to send this thing home the right way.
Let's do it.
With the first pick in the 6th and final round of
Alright, here we go. Who's left?
draft, Monday Night Raw selects the most beautiful woman in all of WWE, Carmella.
Alright.
There is a God, my prayers have been answered. Don't pinch me, because I don't want to wake up. Life is good, Saxton. I've never seen you this happy ever.
The most beautiful woman in all of WWE is coming to Monday Night Raw, baby.
Okay.
And with the second pick in the 6th and final round,
Oh, what we got?
WWE
Big one.
Draft,
Big money, big money.
selects NXT's bruising powerhouse,
Ooh.
Ridge Holland.
Okay.
Pick up for the Blue Brand.
Thought they were going to say,
This dude is the
what-
real.
when they said Bruiser, I thought they were going to say Pete Dunne for a second. That proved me, I was like, ooh.
Be careful, beware of Rich Holland on
Alright. Ridge Holland. Okay.
With their next pick, Monday Night Raw selects changer, NCAA heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, Gable Stevenson.
Okay.
This is huge.
Alright.
Stevenson, Olympic gold medalist, is coming to Monday nights, guys. This is
Alright.
This is unbelievable. True game-changing potential.
Alright. Kurt Angle the second.
Welcome home to Monday Night Raw.
Alright. Kurt Angle 2.
And with the final pick of the 20
Not everyone's going to be as good as Kurt Angle. Alright, go on.
Friday Night SmackDown selects the provocateur, the self-proclaimed master strategist, Sami Zayn.
Wow, they left Sami Zayn till last. Jesus. Yeah, Sami Zayn, if you want to go AEW, I don't blame you, man. Wow. I like Sami Zayn a lot. Is he a communist? That is the question. We need to know.
Stevenson, Olympic gold medalist.
Saxton, I hope he takes you down. Gable Stevenson, Ridge Holland, and Sami
Du-
Zayn.
du- 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 du.
Gable Stevenson and family moments ago.
Amazing acting. They just happen to have a camera in his house. It's like, that's creepy. We're just recording you and that, and like, we can record you, and then they just jump up. Oh yeah, I've been drafted. I didn't see that going. No, there's a cameraman right there in the corner of my room. Just sat there like. I was wondering whether there was a cameraman sat there for 3 hours while I was watching Raw. So dumb. Yeah. Interesting stuff. I have no idea who this gold medalist kid is. Look, you know, Kurt Angle, once in a generation wrestler. You hoping to strike lightning to strike twice? Will it? Well, only time can tell. You never know. This guy might be amazing, but there's also a chance he might not be. So he's got a high bar to reach because Kurt Angle was a phenomenal talent and still is. But yeah, he's like the only real person to go from winning a gold medal to transition over to being the champion. Like of that standard, anyway. What do you guys think, though? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the draft? I feel like I've missed one of the parts out because the last part was part 6 and 5. I missed a bit out. Sorry about that. I tried to find all the parts. I tried to get my friends to send me all the parts. So if I missed anything, I do apologise. Anyway, what do you guys think of the draft? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, too sweet. Laters, guys.